Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a completed crochet blanket or crochet projects, if you will, video. I have a handful of crochet blankets that I finished last week in December till, here, end of January. So whole month of January and maybe the last week or two of December. So these are my crochet completions. First crochet blanket, it's rainbow blanket. This was like a 3-weight yarn. It was a little bit on the lighter side. It wasn't a 4-weight, what I normally work with, but I finished it within about a week. It took me about 5 to 6 days, give or take, to finish this. This took 2 balls of yarn, but the yarn was a bonus yarn, so it had maybe close to 500 yards on each ball yarn, so they were really big balls of yarn. So from here to maybe about the blue, maybe about here, was 1 ball yarn, and here out was another ball yarn. They were really, really pretty colors. I really loved it. I do have enough yarn to make a secondary one and probably something a little bit bigger. So I'm probably going to make another one. I am probably looking to sell this one. I really want to open up an Etsy shop. I have to look into the logistics of how to open up an Etsy shop and all that other stuff. But yeah, this is probably going to be one of the blankets that are going to go up for sale somewhere, Etsy shops, somewhere. Yeah, I got to recoup my funds from spending all this money on the yarn. So I figure I'd charge the price of what I paid for the yarn plus some money for my time working on the blanket. So yeah, and obviously I have to charge shipping because these blankets aren't a light package to ship. Usually when I ship blankets to people, I pay $18 to $20 in shipping to ship blankets to my friends. So yeah, blankets aren't a cheap item to ship whatsoever. They're about 8 to 10 pounds, give or take, depending on how heavy the yarn is. So yeah, I have to charge shipping for these blankets too. But yeah, here's the first one. On to the next. Here's the second blanket. I just finished this recently, actually about a day ago. I just finished this. This took me about 4 days to do, give or take. And the pinks, the different color pinks, were all in 1 ball of yarn. So the colors just kept changing in the ball yarn. So I didn't have to buy multiple colors of yarn to do this. The yarn worked itself up. So it was really perfect. This was 12 balls of yarn. Each ball yarn had about 200 something yards in it. No, 164 yards. I'm sorry, I'm getting the wrong yarn. 164 yards. So they're a little bit on the smaller side. So I bought 12 balls, took all 12 balls of yarn. I think this is really pretty. I haven't decided, but I think maybe this is going to be one I keep for my own collection because I'm just a pink girl. I'm a pink and black girl. I love pink and I love black. I do love rainbow too. But this one was just, it felt super easy to work up and it went really, really fast. I mean, literally about 4 days it took me. It was really a joy to work on. Here is my third blanket that I made. I finished this recently in the month of January. This was done with the new yarn that Joann's came out with, Big Twist Vortex. Again, sorry, my feet are in the in the shot. This yarn, all the colors were in 1 ball yarn. So it just worked itself out. The colors just worked itself up. And this is what I got. I love working with this yarn. I got many other colors from this Big Twist Vortex yarn line that came out. I got a bunch of other colors that they came out with, and I got enough to make blankets out of all the colors that I bought. So I think I got a blue one, 2 pink ones, or no, a red, yellow, a pink, hot pink one, and a black and gray. So that'll be like another 4 blankets because I did buy enough of each color to make more blankets just like this. This one will maybe be one that goes up for sale also. I don't know the measurements offhand, but my bed is a king size bed, and see, it doesn't cover the whole bed, so maybe this would fit a full size bed. Here is my 4th blanket. Funny story about this blanket. This blanket should have been done years ago. It was technically basically done. I had it sitting in a laundry basket, just a spare laundry basket. And there was like 6 stitches that had to be done, like literally just 6 stitches, and then tied off and the end sewn in, and it would have been done. And it was sitting in the basket for 3 years, unfinished because of 6 stitches. So I pulled it out, and I finally did the 6 last stitches, and now it is complete. This is a very heavy blanket. This is chunky yarn, very thick chunky yarn. It feels like a weighted blanket when you have it on you. It's very, very thick. Haven't decided if I'm going to sell this one or not yet because it's not perfect. You know, I can see where, you know, some of my ends, I tried to sew them in. I probably have to go back and do a better job. This was probably one of my earlier projects that I worked on when I started crocheting. So it's not a perfect blanket. I don't know, because, you know, blankets I would be selling would be for $100 to $200. And I don't, you know, I couldn't, not with ends hanging out like this, I couldn't sell it for anywhere near that price. It's a very pretty blanket. Maybe if I'm able to fix it up some, maybe I'd be able to sell it for something. But until then, it's probably going to just stay in my collection. But yeah, this is the 4th blanket. I finished it. Should have finished it years ago, but, and yeah, here's the flower in the middle. This almost covers my king size bed. If I made it any larger, it would have covered my king size bed. So, I mean, see, it covers pretty much my end of the bed, but Julio's end of the bed, there's still some extra. So almost a king size, maybe a full, maybe a queen. Here is my 5th blanket. This one has length to it. These are all small granny squares sewn together. So this would probably maybe fit, like, you could drape over a twin size bed. This is like a one-man show type of blanket. It's just a blanket for one person. But yeah, this took me about a week to do, about 7 days to do, because of all the little squares that had to be made. It's over 100 something squares. I don't remember the final count, but definitely over 100 something squares to make this one. And in the back, you can see the stitch work. I sew them on the back, and then, so this would be the back, this would be the front. So yeah, that's my 5th blanket. Here is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my 6th blanket. This is done with the new Supernova yarn that came out in Joann's in 2024. I think this is like Milky Way Galaxy color. I don't remember the color. But this is how, and this is another one. All the colors were just already built into the yarn. And this is what I got when I just crocheted it all together. I didn't have to buy separate colors to do this. This is what I got. This took about 4 or 5 balls of yarn. This was very, very thin yarn. It was a roving yarn. I had to use a much smaller hook size to do this, but this is another granny square blanket. All the blankets you saw today were granny square blankets. I just go around and around and around until I want the square size that I have. But yeah, this is my 6th blanket. I think I'm going to show you another blanket because I don't know if I ever showed it to you guys or not. yeah. Okay, blanket number 7. I don't remember if I ever showed you guys this in a video. This blanket is done with fleece yarn, blanket yarn, if you will. But it wasn't done with Bernat blanket. It was done with Big Twitch plush. So this is plushy yarn. A lot of people make plushies out of this yarn. I make blankets. I don't do plushies. This one is for myself. I made this for my bedroom. I made this for myself. It is very cozy, and it keeps you warm. It is also a very heavy blanket. I love it. And I just thought this striping, this pink stripes were really pretty, and I was lucked out that they had the white and the solid pink to match. And then after this, I think I'm going to show you 2 whips. No, 4 whips that 5 whips I think I'm working on. Here is one of my whips I am working on. It is almost finished. I have about 2 more balls of yarn to add to it. This is another plushy fleece like blanket yarn, all in neon colors. So they had the striping one, and then they had the solids to match that you could purchase separately. So yeah, so I'm going to do another row of pink and I believe another row of orange, and then I'll be done. So I may keep this one. I may not. I may sell it. I'm not sure. If I sell it, this is going to be more the pricier one because balls of this yarn is about 12 bucks a roll, a ball of yarn. So this is a pretty pricey blanket. This pink plush one was a very expensive one too. It was $12 a ball of yarn. So, you know, you figure it takes, so far this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls of yarn at $12 a piece. And I have 2 more colors to go. So yes, it is a pretty pricey blanket. And that's not including, you know, what I would charge per hour for my time to make it. So yeah, it's a pretty pricey blanket. So yeah, any person, I don't think anybody realizes if I've ever gifted anybody this type of material, the blanket fleece, on how pricey of a, you know, blanket it is. And I hope they take care of it because the yarn is not cheap. But I love gifting people blanket yarn blankets, you know, plushy blankets, because they're just so cozy. Here's another whip I'm working on. This blanket is for my sister. I am starting a new row of this color. This is next in line. It'll be a nice thick row of that striping yarn. It's going to be an all purple blanket for my sister. This is probably the 3rd blanket I've made my sister. I think I made her a blanket, you know, fleece yarn blanket for her first blanket. Then I made her one with this thinner 4-weight yarn. I made her another one, and then she asked for another one. So this is going to be the 3rd blanket I'm making her. So yeah, I need to work on it some more. I've been kind of slacking on it. This is one I just started last night. This is for my best friend who lives in PA. She has a room with a teal wall in it, and I believe that's her living room. So she wanted a teal blanket for her couch. So I am using this Red Heart ombre yarn. It goes from light to dark, back to light to dark, on and off throughout the whole ball. So I'm going to do 2 balls of this, and then I bought very dark teal, just solid color to do around the outside, and some gray. Half her living room is gray, so I'm going to add some gray into this blanket towards the end. But yeah, just started this yesterday. This is how far I got. I'm going to be working on this today. I want to be able to ship this out to her as soon as possible. Here's another one. I don't know if I'm going to sell it in the end or keep it for myself because I love it. This is with tweed yarn. It has the little flecks of brown and black in it, and it's like an off-white color. This is how far I got. This is about, I'm not done with the 2nd ball. That's the 2nd ball attached. So this is about a 1.5 balls of yarn so far, but this is how far I got. This is like a project I work in between my major projects, just something to do if I don't want to do anything else. This is the last whip. I'm using this chunky yarn. I think it's called Jelly Bean. It's a Karen cake. It's chunky cake. It's a very thick yarn. You could see how thick the yarn is. This is another one. It's another project I work on when I don't want to work on my other projects. Just something in between. So this is how far I got. This is about a one ball of yarn and some of this secondary one. I might have to buy more balls of yarn. I don't think I bought enough for this project, so we'll see how far we get on what I have in my stash, and then I might have to buy more to make it a decent size. So yeah, that's the last whip. And those were all my blankets that I made from, end of December in all of January. I have them hanging all over my banister. I guess when I have enough, a good amount, I am considering on opening up an Etsy shop and selling my blankets to recoup some of my spending and my time, of course. Yeah, because unfortunately, as much as I love every single blanket and I want to keep them all for myself, I just don't have the room to keep them, but I want to be able to keep making them. It's a fun project for me to do. So only way to get rid of them and to get some of my money back would be to sell them, online or whatnot. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my whips, my projects that are almost done and projects that are already finished. Yeah, I've been a busy girl. I haven't been diamond painting. I haven't been coloring. Barely been doing my nails. Yeah, I've just been crocheting up a storm. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you get notified anytime I upload any new videos. And you can see more crochet finished projects in the near future. So without further ado, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Wonderful day or night wherever you are. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.